Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us here today. There are some new faces here, so I definitely want to take the time to introduce ourselves and the team so you know who's speaking to you tonight. I'm Dr. David Kolowski. I'm one of the co-founders of Inside Health. I'm going to introduce Dr. Lauren Kolowski as well, my better half. And we started Inside Health, we started this business overall 11 years ago, became Inside Health 5 years ago or so. So we have been growing nicely. We have some other practitioners, Kristen, who you'll also see at the front desk. She started out with us as the front desk helper and has seen so many amazing results with patients as well as in her own health that she had to learn what this is all about. And so she's become a practitioner and just is doing very well, growing her practice and getting amazing success with her patients as well. And we also have Leah, and she's been with us for almost 2 years now, right? And doing very well, growing her practice as well. So you're going to hear a bit from each of us tonight, and then we also have the rest of our team. We have Nancy. She's one of our rock star helpers.
Fancy Nancy.
And in the back we have Lorene and Shanna. So we wouldn't be able to do anything without them, and so we owe a lot to them. But let's get started tonight, so thank you. So it goes without saying that there's very little that's as important as your health. When you think about the last time you were sick, everybody here has been sick at some point, right? Think about the last time you were sick. How functional were you? How possible was it to take care of your work, to take care of your kids, to just even get through the day without whining and griping, right? I mean, if you don't have your health, you've got very little. So I think that is one of the cornerstones that we have to be knowledgeable of, and we have to make sure we're doing the right things to keep it, stable and keep you on the right track. Because without your health, you have nothing. I mean, that's why we put the name in our name, Inside Health. We know that health comes from the inside. That's not just a slick slogan. It's really the reality of what happens here. So what I also want to cover is there's certain benefits to being sick. Now, I don't want you to run out and try to catch a cold or anything, but it's true. Now, there's actually two ways to look at this. You could say there's a benefit to the broader economy when people are chronically sick, and that is a reality. If you have cancer, you have heart disease, imagine you're one of those people who are in those positions, and some of you may be. How many specialists, how many doctors, how many offices do you have to go to on a regular basis to take care of those situations? Being sick is a driver of the economy. It's sad to say, but that's the reality. So think about the offices, the clinics, the doctors who have an incentive financially to have you sick. I don't want to say keep you sick or make you sick, but you can kind of see that may be something that could be going on, right? I mean, there is a financial incentive there. We have a financial incentive on our end too, but we want to get you better. We want to help you see what's possible, and we feel that our results, the reviews that we get speak for themselves. And so if you haven't seen those, please check those out as well. But that's the other side, is that there's benefits to being sick in the short term, not the chronic illnesses, but the childhood illnesses. Chickenpox, measles, mumps, rubella, all those things. It's true, and there's plenty of research out there that shows that kids who go through those mild childhood illnesses actually come out much stronger in the end because they gave their immune system a workout. So it's kind of like if you take any 6-year-old out there and put him, give him a little bat and a tee and a wiffle ball, you could get him to be pretty proficient at hitting that ball pretty quickly, right? It doesn't take much. And you might even say, wow, they're really good. But are they ready for the big leagues yet? Probably not, right? But that's kind of how we take care of a lot of our health, is that we just give our bodies just a little taste, a little teaser of that issue, and we call it good. But the reality is when we put our bodies through, like those childhood illnesses, chickenpox and those kind of things, if we actually give the body a full immune challenge and this immune workout, we actually get that much stronger because of it. And so that's where we really want to celebrate those kinds of illnesses and not really just run scared to the emergency room when those kinds of things happen. You know, it's not fun being sick. It's not fun having a sick child. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see them suffer. We don't want to have that doubt in our minds, like, what do I need to do here? But the reality is, we've as a species, we've lived with those things for generations. And so they're really not anything to be afraid of. We need to, celebrate them and help them in that process so we can come out stronger in the end. But another sad reality is that just as there's a lot of adults who have a lot of chronic illnesses, we're seeing that more and more in our kids. There was a study that just came out recently that said in the last 16 years, the rates of type 2 diabetes in children has almost doubled. That's crazy to think about. Type 2 diabetes is what they used to call adult onset diabetes. It was very rarely, if ever, seen in kids. So we are destroying our kids with our nutrition, with environmental stress, with emotional stress. They're saying right now, just in the middle of this whole pandemic, that the kids today have just as much anxiety as somebody who's in a mental hospital back in the 50s with anxiety. That's really scary to think about. So, let me keep up with my highly detailed notes here. All right. So, I want to do something a little interactive with you. Now, we all hopefully have a basic understanding of our bodies. So, with our circulatory system, what's the master organ of the circulatory system? Heart, right? Point to your heart. All right, I gave it away, sorry. I should know. All right. How about with the digestive system? What's the main thing you think about with the digestive system? The stomach. Where's the stomach at? Point to your stomach. All right. Now point to your immune system. Ooh, yeah, tricky, right? But think about it. If you cut your finger, and let's say it even gets infected, does your immune system take care of that? Right. So is your immune system in your finger?
No.
It kind of is, but it's kind of not. There's a lot of parts to it, right? It can be really everywhere in your body. And so if it's something that is that vast, that big, what is controlling it? Is there something that is more like a master control system of the body? Any ideas? Hormones? Hormones it's a good guess. It's like another communication system in the body. But there's something even more direct as a communication system, yes? What's up there? The brain, yeah. And how does the brain communicate with the rest of the body?
Nerves.
The nerves, yeah, it goes down the spinal cord, through that spine, and then out all these nerves. But while it's in the brain and the spinal cord, we call it the central nervous system. And as it branches out from the spine, we call that the peripheral nervous system. So think about this. I want you to imagine the greatest laboratory you can possibly think of. That's all over the news right now with all this, I can't say the C word, I can't say the word, but imagine the most up-to-date, high-tech, supercomputer laboratory you can possibly think of. In this laboratory, they have the ability to make hundreds of thousands of chemicals in a moment's notice. It can be aware of any little change that's happening in your body within an instant. And it can shuttle the right nutrients, the right chemicals, the right hormones, right to those spots within seconds. Now this laboratory is like directly plugged into you, and you might think like, wow, for this laboratory to be that capable, have that many resources, it must have a team of, a vast number of scientists. Let's say we take all the brain power out of the Mayo Clinic, out of Johns Hopkins, out of the CDC, FDA, all where the big wigs are, right? We take all that brain power and compile it into this one laboratory. Well, that brain power is still a fraction of what is actually happening in this laboratory which is inside of you. Your body has that power. Your body can instantly make these wide array of chemicals and have these reactions and interactions just at a moment's notice to help you living in your environment. That's an amazing thing. So all that brain power is there waiting for it to be expressed in your body. And that's nothing to just dismiss easily. We have to consider that's an intelligence, right? That is a sign of wisdom in your body. Your body is smart. We call this innate intelligence, that innate power, that innate wisdom that your body has to be able to do these amazing things. And that is all communicated through that spinal cord, out those nerves, and to touching every organ, every system of your body. So how important is it, do you think, that we make sure that communication is happening top-notch every second of the day, every minute of your life? As a chiropractor, that's my focus. You know, your immune system is just one little part of you that's helping to run the show, clean up the debris, you know, keep the injuries away, take care of the inflammation. It's always active. In fact, your body is always, you know, replacing old, disease, damaged cells and helping to build new, fresh cells. And every 7 years, you actually get a whole new, fresh body. That's the cool thing. But that cleanup doesn't happen all by itself. So the last analogy I have for you is, imagine, you know, my dad used to tell this story of him as a kid. He would go with a buddy of his over to the town dump. And they'd take their .22 rifle, and they'd go pick out rats in the dump, right? Now, before that dump was there, do you think the rats were also there? No. So, did the rats create the dump? Probably not, right? The dump encouraged the rats to show up. So, if our bodies are the dump, if our bodies are not taken care of correctly, if we have a lot of disease-damaged cells, a lot of debris that's not being cleaned out correctly, the bacteria, the viruses, parasites, those things are just like the rats. They're designed to go in there and help clean that up. They're a good thing. But if our body is weak, they can get the upper hand. And then that expresses as an illness, as a symptomatic issue. So don't treat your body like a dump. That's the first thing you can write down. And the rest of the speakers are going to come here in a second, and they're going to teach you all about that nutritional side of how to, you know, nourish your body correctly and take care of that correctly. But as I wrap up here, what I want to encourage you to do is get your spine checked out. How do you know it's working well? What I'm going to do tonight, and if you want to come see me after we're done here, I'm simply going to palpate or feel in your neck how things are moving. I have yet to find a perfect neck. I want you to be my perfect neck. So come on and see me. But if you find that those spots that are just a little tied up, a little sensitive, a little stuck, those are areas in your spine where you could be having these restrictions causing interference on that nervous system of yours that's trying to control and coordinate every function of your body. I don't know how to say it any differently. It's vitally important that you make sure that's working well for you. So without further ado, I'm going to switch over to Leah, and she's going to give you an amazing demonstration. And again, I look forward to seeing you all on my table right behind the wall over here after we're done. Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Well, welcome. Like Dr. David said, my name is Leah, and I'm excited to be here tonight to mostly give you a kitchen demonstration, but I want to give you a little bit of a background of my story. So about 9 years ago, I mysteriously became sick, and I had about, I'm not even kidding you, like 15 things go wrong with me in 2 weeks. I ended up in the ER twice. I wrote letters goodbye to my children because I felt like I was dying so fast. And turns out I was eventually diagnosed with Lyme disease, which is terrible. If anyone ever says that, buy them dinner immediately because they have a hard life, okay? But what I am going into is a vital turning point in my journey was that I was fighting Lyme disease. Guess what? One day I realized this is not the only thing my immune system is going to need to fight. What I need to do is I need to build my immune system. That was a turning point in my journey. And guess what? I have 5 children. 4 of them possibly could have Lyme because you can pass it to your kids in utero. So I immediately went into, I need to build my kids' immune systems. First thing we did, I want you guys to open your packet. We cut sugar. I'm not even going to go into this very much tonight, but there's 144 reasons why you should not have sugar in your diet and all the terrible things it does to you and your children that you love, okay? So this is, so immediately when I would start baking, I would cut things, whatever the recipe called, I would cut it in half. And from there, I would even back it up from what actually we would have sugar in our house. But then what I realized was, well, I don't want to just not eat a bunch of foods. I actually want to use food as fuel. I want to use food to build our immune systems. And so I feel like I have no letters after my name, but I have given myself a degree in healthy eating because I have lived it, I have breathed it, and my children are going to go to college and I think they're going to eat Lucky Charms because they're like, we just need sugar. And I'm like, no, you get fermented carrots, which is what we're going to talk about tonight. Okay, so, but I think eventually they're going to feel bad eating those Lucky Charms and maybe come back around. But anyway, so we're going to go through a couple things here that I am excited about that I use in my kitchen, easy ways that you can build your immune system. So the second handout I have here, I tell people hang this where you're going to make your grocery list because this is opposite the food pyramid. This is opposite of what you're going to hear anywhere else of grains being the base of your diet. That actually is not how your body runs on fuel. But again, I'm not going into that. I just got to focus on my, they gave me a time limit tonight. Can you believe it? I'm like, no way. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to chop, and I have no idea how fast I'm going to get this jar filled. But first of all, we're going to talk about fermented foods. So who here has heard fermented foods? It's kind of a popular term, right? Okay, so you can go to any health store and you can buy fermented foods. You can buy probiotics, right? That's also kind of a trendy word. But guess what? They are not all created equal. And they're going to charge you a lot of money for something that actually might be dead. So for about this big giant bag, I was looking at 6 pounds of organic carrots at Costco. It's literally $4.99. So you can do this, and this is enough to fill 2 or 3 jars. So you can make one and give one to a friend. You're just going to start chopping the carrots. You do want these to be fresh, so don't let them sit in your fridge for 3 weeks. That's not a great idea. Use them shortly after you get them. So all I'm doing is trying to get somewhat of a uniform size. Some of these at Costco can be kind of big. Like my jaw is like, I don't actually want to eat that. So I usually trim them down. Again, my kids eat them too. And let me just be real with you guys. When I first introduced this concept to my family of fermented foods, didn't go over well. It was not an exciting thing. And so what I turned this into is at lunch, we homeschool, so we eat lunch together. We used to eat lunch together when they were all little, is we'd sit down with our plates of food and everyone would have 1 bite. I would take 1 out and I would chop it into 5 bites. Mom too, everyone take a bite of fermented carrot, then you got to eat your lunch. This is how we started implementing this flavor. It has a very unique flavor, fermented foods, especially to kids who've had a lot of sugar. But let me tell you this, my first 3 children, I didn't know a thing about nutrition. They ate the traditional Puffs and Cheerios as toddlers. Well, guess what? I got sick in there. By the time my 4th one came along, guess what her first food was? She was sucking on fermented carrots, and she loved them because she didn't know any different. And my friend was telling me, she's like, well, how do you think the kids, like, maybe in India eat spicy food? They're introduced to it early. They have a palate for these things. And here in America, guess what we introduce our toddlers to? Grains and sugar. It is terrible. I just hope I don't cut myself while I'm talking. I get a little passionate, okay? I get a little passionate. And so this is all I'm doing, you guys can see, is I just stuff them into this jar like this, and I try to fill in, the gaps here as they get going. So you want it to be pretty tight, okay? So pretty tight, we're close. You don't want them floating around. And the reason is you're gonna have a brine and you're gonna fill this. So I think I'm gonna pause on this one because I actually want to show you guys the other one more. This one's gonna be more exciting to watch. So what I would do is I would have a second layer of carrots on here. I would flip it around, and they shouldn't move. They should be packed in there that tight, okay? Then I'm real fancy in my kitchen. I got a rock from my neighbor's driveway. I boiled it. Or you can buy a fermenting weight on Amazon.
Oh.
They are a thing. Because you do want to keep your fermented foods under the brine, okay? If you start a few little pieces here and there is fine, but you don't want 6 carrots coming out the top. So I would have a second layer here, and you can see we gave you the recipe here, okay? So depending on, this is the recipe I use, this is a half-gallon jar, so you're gonna double this. So you're gonna put the carrots. All I do with the sea salt is I don't even dissolve it in the water. You can if you want to follow the recipe. I don't. I just literally start. Okay, that's 1 tablespoon. I'm going to remember that so when I get home and I add this. I would add in, for a quart, I would probably do about 5 tablespoons of sea salt for a half gallon, which is a lot. Okay, then I'm going to put my fermented rock, not boiled rock, on my fermented carrots. There we go. And so it's probably going to be something like this when you have that second layer of carrots in there, right? Then I'm going to pour my filtered water. And then, I did get these on Amazon. These are fermenting lids. They came in a 3-pack. I bought them with a friend. They were like $3 each. Normal canning jar. And then you just screw this on. So, ferments. When they're happy and healthy, they're going to bubble and they're going to overflow. So don't put this somewhere that you don't want to get wet. Or I put mine on a plate or a bowl, just in case it leaks a little bit, okay? So happily seeing bubbles is a good thing. That means it's living. That's great. So when I'm ready, after 3 to 5 days or a week, depending on how long you want to leave it, I take the carrot out, I pop a normal lid on, and I throw these in the fridge. They are ready to go. It literally is like a 15-minute process plus 7 days of waiting. Then you're good to go for like $3. And they say, you guys, I have not done official studies, but from what I have heard, numerous locations, the amount of actual living probiotics you get in a fermented food is quadruple any supplement that you're going to take besides whole real living supplements. I'm talking about like health food store, like, oh, is this a good one? I don't know. There's a difference between good probiotics and dead probiotics, okay? So that is fermented carrots. So next we're gonna go to fire cider, okay? So if this was my house through cold and flu season, we try to eat a fermented carrot every day. I also do some, does it happen every day? No, let me just be real with you, but that's my goal. And so then this fire cider, I made this a couple seasons ago and I thought about it again this summer. It takes 6 weeks to steep. So this is why I'm doing this now, because in 6 weeks it's going to be ready to go. So this fire cider, I would encourage you, if you just want overall immune boosting goodness through cold and flu season, take a spoonful of this a day. If you're sick, up that. Do it a couple times a day as your body is recovering, along with getting chiropractic adjustments and coming in for your proper nutrition. This is just gonna help benefit your immune system. So this stuff is super fun. I went to Natural Grocers 2 days ago because they sell all organic produce. I did not want to have to go all around Loveland trying to find this all organic. It's gonna steep in apple cider vinegar for 6 weeks. I don't want chemicals and pesticides seeping out, and that's what I'm actually drinking. So I did want this all to be organic. So we have horseradish root. Woo! So this stuff will clear your sinuses. I did, this is actually grown in my neighbor, Shauna's, backyard. So I did go pick this and I peeled it. So I don't know if it's at Natural Grocers, but horseradish root should be at a health food store, okay? We're just gonna go down the line. Ginger. So I just peeled the ginger. I'm actually gonna chop this a little bit more so that it can steep a little bit better. We have a large onion, which I'm gonna get out last because that came from my garden and it's full of dirt, so I'm not gonna get my cutting board. So I have a whole orange. Again, it says don't peel it. You want the whole thing. Again, you don't want a regular orange in there if it's not organic, okay? Then we've got a whole lemon. Got that. Actually, I'm gonna cut both of these just so that we get the benefits of them, okay? And then we've got organic garlic. Oh gosh, I didn't even think about peeling this in front of all of you. I'm not gonna peel all of this. I might do one or, yeah, I'm gonna smash it, but. And then the other thing is Natural Grocers. Again, I'm sorry, I did not go to multiple stores because I had a toddler with me. The Natural Grocers does not have habaneros right now. He said they usually do. So I made an executive decision. I have no idea how this changes this recipe, but I feel like it's probably fine. I'm gonna do 2 jalapenos, and I have 2 poblanos from my garden. So I am probably going to take, hopefully I don't spray myself in the eye here. I'm gonna take a majority of the seeds out and get those going in there. Okay, and then I will add the, yeah, I know.
Don't
Guess
spray
what?
my eyes
I'm not
either.
touching anyone's eyes later. If I come at you to give a hug, duck. Okay, and then got my final poblano here. And this was funny. This is the one thing that I got here and I realized I forgot it because in my head I was like, oh, I'll just run by the garden on the way out, and then I forgot. I had to go home and get them. So there's my poblanos. I will add more garlic later, okay? So then all you're gonna do, guess what I have? Another trusty boiled brock. I'm telling you, you can spend money on Amazon or you can be frugal, okay? And you want to do the apple cider vinegar that has the raw and unfiltered. It has the mother. Costco is the best place I found price-wise for this, okay? So, oh, look at that. So this is called fire cider. It's gonna turn all sorts of funky colors. And I'm going to let this, oh, I forgot the turmeric. That also, I'm doing, do you guys know MacGyver? Am I dating this? Okay, so MacGyver, right, here we go. I went home and I thought I had turmeric in my cabinet and I didn't. But guess what? I have organic turmeric supplement. So this was me, oh, I only have one, I'll have to get more. This was me going to be all creative with my turmeric in supplement form. See, just need supplements at your house. You never know what you can do. So this is how, this one I don't, let's see, let it sit in a dual. So this one isn't necessarily a ferment. So I probably am just going to do one of these lids, okay? And you're gonna set it in a dark place for 6 weeks and let it steep. Then you're gonna strain it and, I can't remember. Oh, you wanna put it in a cloth and squeeze all of that goodness out of there. And then you're gonna add honey to taste, okay? Honey is still sugar. So keep that in mind if you're like, might be overdoing a little bit. So at my house when we did this, it was a little less sweet than most people probably would want it, but I didn't want to add all that sugar into it as well. Also, if you do raw honey, if you heat it up, you're going to kill it. So you can warm it a little bit so it will spread a little bit or stir in there, but you don't want to like bring that to a boil. That also is going to defeat the purpose of paying more money for the raw, real honey. So there's your fire cider. Woo! Who's excited? My kids are gonna be like, oh no! Okay, then finally, we have homemade elderberry syrup. So again, you guys can go to the health food store and you can buy elderberry syrup. It may or may not be good for you, and it may or may not be full of other things. So what we have created for you guys here tonight is I put together elderberry kits for you that these are available to purchase tonight for you or a loved one. So this has, go right down the recipe, it has 3/4 a cup dried elderberries. I did not include the water. Dried cinnamon stick. It has cloves in it, and it has dried ginger, and we did not include the honey, but it has all the dry ingredients right here in this cute little jar. So the way that we gave you instructions was so that you could make it on a stovetop, because I figured that was most universal. However, if you have an Instapot, lots of people love making this in the Instapot. It's going to make more than this. So this probably isn't going to be we probably should have bought bigger jars to put it in when it was done, but I'll let you figure that out at your house. So these are available for sale for $20, but we actually tonight are going to give one away for free. So we're going to pass around some little pieces of paper, write your name on it. At the end of this, we're going to have a drawing. We are going to give a free one away, but this makes a great gift. It's $20. It's going to be super economical for the amount of elderberry syrup that you're going to get, and it's not going to be full of all of the other stuff that is often at other when you purchase it. Yes, Lauren.
I have a question.
Yes.
If you bought it at the store and you got a tiny little bit, how much does that cost?
A lot, especially if you, I don't know, I haven't looked because I've made mine for 5 years, so I don't even know. But they come in little droppers. They're not cheap. Often they have other ingredients. This is literally going to make like, depending on how much you simmer it down, I would say maybe close to a quart of elderberry syrup. So you want to keep this in the fridge. And I usually keep mine for about a month or so, maybe a little longer. But if it's too much for you, split it and give it to a friend so they can have the benefits. This also you can take as a precautionary every day to get those elderberries are a powerhouse full of good nutrients. But what was I going to say? Yep, I lost my train of thought. Oh, if you're sick, you can take more. That was it. I'm like, you can take a little bit every day, or when you're sick, you can take it more often throughout the day. Also safe to give children, not under one with the honey. But there are different, I've seen other recipes, people, if you need it for under a 1-year-old, they have alterations of what else to use instead of honey. Okay, so those are my 3 demonstrations. We've got your fermented carrots, we've got your fire cider, and your homemade elderberry syrup. Okay? I will be around afterwards if you guys have any questions, but otherwise we are going to hear from Kristen, who's going to talk about different lifestyle ways to help take care of your health. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, hey everyone. All right, so I have a handout in the folder that I want you all to be taking notes on while I speak, okay? I figured this would be the easiest way to remember everything that I'm saying as I didn't note them all. I'm literally going to go through each one with you and give you tips on each little title that I put down, okay? Okay. All right, so these are all practices that I've implemented into my life in the last 2 years, and they have changed my life completely. Without them, I felt awful every single day, okay? All right, so number 1, eat to fuel your body. You want to choose foods that are going to feed your body. We have this idea in America that we eat for flavor. That's not true. Sugar tastes awesome, right? But it's addictive. What we need is foods that don't make us addicted to them, that are actually healthful, okay? And so we want to eat with purpose, we want to eat for fuel, we want to eat to repair and recover. And just like Leah talked about, we really want to limit our sugars, our grains, our dairy. And why we want to do that is because they cause inflammation in the body. And so something that you can just be wary of is every time you put food in your mouth, it has the possibility to affect you after 5 minutes to 48 hours. And you can see how different foods affect you from just watching over that time frame, okay? So inflammation leads to, that is caused by foods, can lead to problems, so just be aware of everything that you're eating. Another idea is to just limit how much you're eating out, as a lot of those foods are not organic and you don't know what oils that they're cooking with and they could be rancid, okay? So number 2, what's in your food? Do we know why we're eating what we're eating? We want to eat everything as organic as possible, because there's no harmful chemicals, there's no glyphosate, there's nothing that we don't want in our bodies when it's organic, as pure as we can get, okay? So I listed some 4 major vitamins that the world is recommending to take during this scary time, okay? So, number 1 is vitamin C. And the foods that you can eat are very similar to what Leah has just prepared in front of us. Vitamin C, you can find that mostly in dark leafy greens, red peppers, yellow bell peppers, broccoli, berries, citrus fruits, and cooked tomatoes. Okay? So that's where we get our vitamin C. Vitamin D can be found in salmon, grass-fed butter, and eggs. I eat a half a cup of butter a day. Okay? So for vitamin A, we can find that in carrots, dried apricots, kale, sweet potatoes, winter squash, and mangoes. All right? So I tried to add a lot of foods that we all might eat if we're picky. And then zinc, where the heck do we get zinc? Right? All right, we can find that in grass-fed beef. We can find that in lamb. We can find that in eggs, hemp seeds, cashews, and shellfish. All right? So I've only listed a few, as there are many foods that you can find these products in. But do your own research and vary the different foods you're eating, so we're not having carrots every single day. Unless it's a fermented carrot, then please do so. But change it up. Give your body the option to work through everything. We do best when we have variety. And a note I wanted to make, just because we're talking specifically about food, is about sugar. This is linked to diabetes, heart complications, liver, kidney disease, poor oral hygiene, obesity, and other systemic diseases. It can also suppress the immune system activity for up to 6 hours after consumption. So, if we're going to go out and have a night of full desserts and alcohol, we can expect in those 6 hours that our immune system is going to be depleted, so we might want to go eat some vitamin C. Okay? All right. All right, the next one, or actually I didn't make a note on the back. You'll find that there's a resource area, and there's 61 different hidden names for sugars. So if you don't know where to look, that's a good resource to use, okay? Number 3, you want to have food ready to grab. Just like Leah prepared all of these ahead of time so she can use them in 6 weeks or in a week, you want to have those on hand ready to go. And you can also do this with bone broth. You can cook an entire chicken. Leah taught me how to do it, of course. And you can have that in your freezer. You can also put in ice cube trays, which she actually did and I got from her, so I can just make that when I don't feel good, and it came in handy whenever I needed it, okay? I also do this thing where I prepare smoothie bags. And so in just a little baggie, I put in the freezer, I add a handful of my greens, and then I put my fruits, and then any vegetables. It's an easy way to get vegetables in because you can't taste them, right? Mm-hmm. And then when I go to make that smoothie, all I have to add is either a protein powder, collagen, or any liquid that I'm using, okay? All right. I also have been making chia seeds, and which can be like overnight cups, which you probably heard with oats. This is a way to get away from the gluten. There are gluten options, but chia seeds do a lot of fabulous things. Constipation, chia seeds are very helpful for. Okay, so you can make that overnight. It takes about 6 hours to soak all of that up, and then it's ready to go. And I just add like almond butter on top of mine for a little extra nutty flavor. I also found this website. It's called Daily Harvest. I find it very helpful on weeks where I'm really, really busy, and I really rather go out to eat than go make something in my kitchen. I am that person. Not everyone is Leah, okay? All right? We all strive to be like Leah, but I'm not there yet. I have some years to go. So Daily Harvest, they have smoothies, they have those chia bowls, they have flatbreads that are completely grain-free. These are all dairy-free. These are all sugar-free. This is all healthy. It is frozen, so you lose a little bit of the potency of all the vitamins you're getting in, but it beats going down to Lazy Dog to get some food, okay? All right, so for number 4, sleep like it's your job. This is one of the main things I learned from Dr. David when I started. If you don't get 6 to 8 hours of sleep, restful sleep at night, you're gonna wake up having challenges. You're suppressing your immune system if you're fighting for energy all day. So strive for 6 to 8 hours, sleep in a really dark room, and then also something that we're all affected by is EMF, which is electromagnetic, I can't speak right now, electromagnetic fields, frequencies, that's the word I needed, okay? So those are harmful to us, and when our Wi-Fi or our router is plugged into the wall, we are constantly being affected by those frequencies. All you have to do is unplug it. You're not using it in the night, plug it back in the morning or whenever you're going to use it. If you're not using it, turn it off because it's not doing any good. Now, another thing, when we're having troubles falling asleep, one of the biggest things we can do is avoid blue light. That means looking at a screen, a TV, a computer, or phone. So about 35 minutes before you go to sleep, try to not be by your phone, or any blue light for that matter. Sit in a low dark room, try and read, maybe add in some meditation, maybe some yoga, do some less active practices just to get your body ready for bed and prepared, because when we're looking at the blue light, we're activating our brain, when in reality we want to get restful sleep, okay? So number 5 is get in movement daily. This is important. I work at a desk when I'm not a practitioner, so I'm sitting down all day, and when I go home I'm tired. But what I need to do, and what I like to do, is go on a quick walk around the block to get my lymphatic system moving. And so I need to pump my arms, because that's giving me more active energy. I can do that in 15 minutes. I would love to do that longer if I had the time, but we don't always have an hour or 2 to do that, so just 15 minutes of pumping your arms can really help get movement in, okay? So I also do yoga, and I also weightlift, and I also love hiking and kayaking, but not everyone loves to go do those things, so I just invite you to try new things. Even dancing for 15 minutes like no one's watching will really get you going, I promise. All right? Exercise is critical because it opens up our lymphatic system. Another thing is get in movement. If you're not going to leave your house all day, come get adjusted, right? That gets us moving. That gets our body moving. It's our spine moving. That gets everything talking to each other. All right? So number 6 is sunlight and grounding. And why this is important is because we get our vitamin D from the sun. So we want to get outside as much as possible. And when you get outside as much as you can in the morning, you're setting yourself up for better sleep at night because you've introduced that light early on, all right? And then grounding practices, go outside and sit on the ground for 5 minutes. Just being barefoot in grass does amazing things for your body, okay? And then I love to leave the city on the weekends and just go out in the trees and surround myself where I don't have to see people and I just see trees. And I feel better when I come back in, all right? So sunlight and grounding techniques can be very beneficial to boost your immune system. Number 7 is detox, and you'll hear us talk all about that here at Inside Health. We do different kinds of foot baths. We have a standard process detoxification program, 2 different kinds, and then infrared saunas can also be very helpful for a detox to sweat out all of the things you don't want. It's a 2-way street, so if we're going to detox, we also have to replenish. We're going to take out those toxins, we have to rebuild the body with the good stuff. All right? And so then while you're detoxing, having even more water than what you're already currently taking is fantastic, so you're flushing out all of those toxins as possible, okay? And then you also want to be very conscious of how much alcohol we're intaking in this time, because alcohol suppresses the immune system very much so, okay? And then another way to help a detox is to get adjusted, because it opens your lymphatic system and yet again opens up your drainage pathways, okay? So number 8, this is my favorite one. This is emotional health and mood. So I was very sad 2 years ago. I woke up every day anxious. I didn't want to leave my home, ever. Well, I ate sugar 3 times a day. I ate a piece of bread for every single meal I had. Now I don't do that, and now I don't wake up with anxiety. And in this time, we're all waking up with anxiety, because what's the first thing that most of us do? We check our phone, we watch the news, we get on social media. What's everyone doing? What are we talking about? Well, we know what we're talking about. We've been talking about it for 1.5 years now. So some of the other things I did was I stopped following things that weren't really adding to my life, that were just making me anxious. Things that I was reading, just things that didn't go along with my life. I really cut that out. I cut out my screen time. If you have an iPhone, they have this wonderful thing that tells you how much time you spend on your phone. Try and decrease that by 15 minutes each week, okay? We can do other things than be on our phones. So another thing is connecting with people through conversation and through music. Go out to eat and touch. A hug for 15 seconds is gonna raise your serotonin levels, okay? Just touch people, love people, be around people. We don't need to isolate in this time. We need to be a community together, okay?
And horses.
And horses. Yes. All right. You want to put out the energy to others that you wish to receive back. So give love so you can receive love, okay? And then also another thing I do to improve my mood is I go see Dr. David for what he calls my attitude adjustment. I have them often. I deal with a lot of people, so I love to get my adjustments from Dr. David, all right? All right, so moving on to number 9. This is load up on your supplements. Here at Inside Health, we have a generalized recommendation sheet that you can hand out to your loved ones. I'm pretty sure Dr. Lauren has it in her handouts for you later on. But get those now so you don't have to run to Walgreens and grab something that you don't know will work and you just spent $10, $15 on it and now you have a whole thing that never worked and actually probably added stress into your body, okay? So another thing we like to say is don't supplement frivolously. Like if you have questions and you don't know what to take, we are your hub. We want to answer those questions for you. We don't want to put a whole bunch of stress on the body that it's not even ready to take in if it needs A or B first, right? So ask questions, ask for help. Ask and know what you're taking so you're not wasting your money or your time. All right? Supplements supplement a healthy diet. They do not make up for eating badly or poorly. If we're going to eat a whole bunch of sugar, we can't just take 2 multizyme to make us feel better, right? We can't keep taking in the thing that's making us sick and try to remove it at the same time. So we need to supplement a healthy diet, not just eat that and hope that that takes care of all of our problems. So we have that immune boosting protocol. We also have immune packs from Standard Process that are already pre-packaged. They're, I think, made day to day. Those are easy to send out as a gift to anybody. So I love to give the gift of health. For every holiday, I give out supplements. I don't give out things other than healthy things. So those immune packs up there that we have, those are available to purchase, and you can send those to a whole family, and they should all have some health things to go. And they don't have to buy separate things. Those are just some options we have. You can also order those online off of our website. So number 10, this is be prepared for anything. And this is something that Leah and obviously everyone else in this office has taught me, but this is number 1. Have a plan. Where are you going to go if you get sick? Do you have an MD? Do you have a naturopath? Do you have a practitioner? Do you have a chiropractor? Do you know where you're going to go when those things happen? Because you want to know now so you're not in that moment feeling awful and having to make those decisions. So you want to fill your cabinets, which people call them medicine cabinets. We like to call them apothecary. Fill your apothecary with supplements, not things from Walgreens, okay? You want to have bone broth ready. You want to have those smoothies ready. You want to have clean snacks ready to go. So when you don't feel good, you go grab for those things rather than, sugar would make me feel a lot better. I could just have a donut. No, empty carbs, right? All right, and so then you also want to be prepared to just be around people who are like-minded. So everyone in this room, we're kind of all in the same room. We have the same idea of things. So Jim Ron put a quote here that says, we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with, so choose carefully. Dr. Lauren made me very aware of this when I started, and so it really did open my eyes, and if I'm not around people who have the same ideas as me, it's going to be stressful. But there are going to be those people in your life. You can't totally avoid them. But when you have the ability to be around like-minded people with the same ideas, you thrive. So I invite you to do that. Surround yourself with people who fill your cup, not take from it, okay? So have those supplements ready, and then you'll also want to just stay connected through the community. We have events here. We try to do them monthly. There's also city events, family time, schools, sports. There's several things you can do in your community to be involved, okay? So be prepared. Know that you're going to make these things. Have those ready to go so you don't have to go to Walgreens or Walmart for options, okay? And then I did list a whole bunch of resources for you just to use at your leisure and look up anything that you want to. But at the end of this, we'll be doing some screenings. Leah and I will be both. And so next, Dr. Lauren's going to come and talk to you about why Walgreens might not be the greatest trip. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys.
Yay! Oh my God, we're done. You don't need to hear from me. No, we're done. So, just kidding. This is what Kristen was talking about. This is, in my opinion, the easy peasy way to go about it. We have more specific recommendations, but this is an awesome thing for the person who doesn't want to take supplements, and we all know they need to be. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that.
What is it?
This is the immune pack. Okay. We have a more specific one, and I'm going to talk with you about it, but I'm just saying this is very convenient. Very convenient. If someone needs convenience to even get this done, this is awesome. We're going to do something before I get going. Shannon and Lorraine, can you grab the zinc tests, please? Okay, you guys, this is a zinc deficiency test. We are about to see if you are sufficient or deficient in zinc. So, this little liquid here, whole food, organic, don't worry, comes from the best company, Standard Process. Okay, I'm going to get this wrong. If you can taste something, You're not deficient if you can't taste anything you are. Okay, so we're gonna do the shot form. Ooh, can I have one, Shanna?
No, you want to taste it. Keep it in your mouth.
Oh, okay, so they're gonna, I'm sorry, you tell us what we're gonna do.
So just
You're gonna put it in your mouth, you're gonna taste, you're gonna sit there.
you want to taste the liquid. Just let it sit there on the tongue for a little bit.
Do you have one?
If it tastes just like water, then it means that you're zinc deficient. But if you can taste it, and it has like a slight bitter flavor, tangy, then that means you have enough zinc and it's extra.
Okay, are we ready? Cheers.
Cheers.
So who could taste it? All
Who
right, so
couldn't?
about a third of the room is possibly zinc deficient. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, different, yeah, so if you're like, yeah, then you're good. Raise your hand if you didn't taste anything. Sort of, yes, kind of.
I need a chaser.
I know, right? Actually, we have one. Okay, so let's do the next thing, right? We better give you something nice to taste. I'm so glad we have that.
That's a good thing you need that.
Yeah, I know, it's a good thing you need that. So you guys, this next taste is our electrolytes. This is a lemon lime electrolyte. Summer we need electrolytes, why? Because of the heat and the humidity and the heat. You know, you're just like worn out and taking all your electrolytes out. In the winter time, why is this a great thing to have on hand? Diarrhea or vomiting. Okay, so if anyone is not well in any way, shape, or form, fever, right? I mean, just having electrolytes on hand. It also helps people who don't drink a lot of water drink more water because it's a nice flavor. There's no sugar. You're getting salts and electrolytes, so taste it. I mean, go for it. That will be a better taste for everybody. So we sell electrolytes here, and I would love one. Yeah. Thank you. So, yep, it's nice, isn't it?
It is.
Mm-hmm. Now, some people want it more flavorful and some want it less. I would cut that in half and water it down further. I'm just, you can make it as flavorful as you want it.
Coconut water for electrolytes.
Such a great question. That used to be the buzz, right? But it's packed with sugar.
Oh.
If you look at the back of a can that's usually this tall, that could be like 40 grams of sugar, right? So we're looking for no sugar. It's all about sugar. I mean, honestly, it really is all about sugar. So. Oh yeah, we do, don't we? So, okay, guys, I can't wait to talk with you. My packet is last, and at the top it will say the lure of synthetic vitamins. So first of all, let's just talk about vitamins in general. Who here takes vitamins? Who here thinks they should take vitamins? Okay, some people legitimately don't think we need to take vitamins, and I love that person. That's okay. Let's just talk about that. Okay. All right. So go with me here. A cup of spinach in the 60s gave us the same amount of vitamin C that 19 cups of spinach give us today. If you look at an orange from the 50s, one orange gave us the same amount of vitamin C that 11 would give us today. Do you think we need to supplement a little bit now? The average of depletion. Because of depletion. If you look at what they've done to the soil, what have they done to the seeds? What have they done to, I mean, in all honesty, you guys, if you look at water quality, what is one of the biggest toxins in our water? Pharmaceutical runoff from your neighbor. Like that comes out in the toilet water, and they process the toilet water, and we drink the toilet water, but they can't get all that out. That's a whole nother lecture. Anyway, so the water matters, the seeds, the GMO. Here's another thing. Seedless watermelon. That's pretty cool, right? I do like a seedless watermelon because I'm not having to spit out the seeds. But what do they do to it to make it seedless? They modified it. What did they do to it? They made it infertile. Okay. If it's infertile, maybe we shouldn't be eating. I mean, when we start playing God with our food, that's a concern, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, if we're playing God with our food, if we're genetically modifying everything, if our soils are wrecked, if our water is wrecked, if the seeds from the get-go have been genetically modified, we might need to supplement. So that is my encouragement to the person who says, I don't need to supplement, but I'm going to get all my nutrition from the food. That is hard. That's impossible. We call supplementation putting back in the replacement parts of our typical American, or a diet that just doesn't have everything that it needs anymore, right? The next thing about supplements, The lure of synthetic vitamins, and if you look at the back, it says proof positive for throwing away your vitamin supplements. As in, if you rolled up to Walgreens or Whole Foods, did you guys know that about 3 companies in the world make all the nutraceuticals? Why do I call them nutraceutical? It's a safer pharmaceutical. That's all that is, because it's made in a chem lab and it's an isolate. It's one little piece of the complex. I'll get there. But if 3 companies in the whole world make all the nutraceuticals and it's sold at Walgreens or Whole Foods, and it just matters what label they slapped on it, how much they can charge you, is that an ethical company, and do you want to take that product? Ick, right? So that is why what you take matters. That is why the apothecary, like I love that word, our apothecary, it is healing nutrition. I mean, that is what it is. And that is why that matters. And so let's talk about isolates versus complexes and cofactors. Okay, so an isolate. I will go back to vitamin C for this. Isolate, or the isolate of vitamin C is ascorbic acid, right? And they talk about you need X amount of milligrams of ascorbic acid every day and yada, 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 right? Okay, when you eat an orange, you're getting much more than just ascorbic acid, aren't you? You're getting its complex, and the complex is bioflavonoids and its enzymes, and it's a whole laundry list of what nature provided in order for you to even absorb the ascorbic acid, okay? So let's think about this. If a person is legitimately deficient in ascorbic acid, let's say this is their ascorbic acid level, this is their enzyme level. You need the enzymes to digest the ascorbic acid, right? So I'm gonna go to Walgreens, no, I'm gonna go to Whole Foods, because it's not much better. I'm gonna go to Whole Foods and I'm gonna get I'm gonna get a vitamin C, right? And you're gonna get a lot of ascorbic acid, and your ascorbic acid's gonna go up. And your ascorbic acid's gonna go up. And your enzyme's gonna go down because you just fed the body so much ascorbic acid that the enzymes are all being utilized to get to utilize this. Do you get where I'm going here? Mm-hmm. So you're gonna go, woo, in ascorbic acid, and all the other complex is gonna go, so now you're deficient in what? Enzymes, okay? So that is why the isolate of anything is not awesome. We have protein powders in the back. If they give you whey isolate, not just whey, sorry, what am I thinking? Give me an amino acid. Any of them. What do they pump you full of in football?
Steve.
He can't remember.
Creatine.
Creatine. Okay, you get all sorts of creatine, and the other amino acids are depleted to handle all the creatine you just got, right? So anything that you see on our shelf is not going to be an isolate. It's going to be the whole complex. That is why the lure of the synthetic nature, oh, it's cheaper. Oh, I get more milligrams in this one. Who cares about the milligrams? Have you heard that before? Wow, your vitamin D doesn't have many milligrams. We hear that a lot. We also don't care about high milligrams. We care about high absorbency.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Okay, if I pump you full of tons and tons of vitamin C or ascorbic acid or vitamin D, synthetic vitamin D, but you pee half of it out, what's the point, right? So that's an absorbency problem, and if you look at our bottles have less milligrams in it, but you are getting so much more out of it, okay? So I'm just trying to lay the foundation over why we need to supplement in the first place, why supplement integrity matters. Let me talk about standard process just a little bit. Dr. David and I were invited to their 90th anniversary. Their farm is in Palmyra, Wisconsin. Their motto is from seed to supplement, and they quite literally are in charge of and in control of their products from seed to supplement. It's a beautiful operation, like top notch. And quality control is out of control. I mean, it's in an amazing way, right? And so they are in control of every step of the process. And their beautiful organic farm yields more than their non-organic neighbors. So anyway, that is why we do what we do there. Did I not answer any synthetic vitamin questions that anyone else had? Does everybody understand? Does everybody get what I'm throwing out there? And why supplementation here today? Our children need supplements. Our bodies, if we don't want to age inappropriately fast, needs supplements, right? Women, no offense, women, we don't age very well. The average American woman does not age as well as the man. Why? She lathers herself with chemicals. She's had multiple babies, perhaps, all nutritionally deficient, right? And she doesn't look quite as good as he does at the same age, right? And so, again, we got to look at what are we doing to ourselves? What are we eating? What are we consuming? What are we putting on our body? And what aren't we putting in our body? Supplements. So, let's turn the page. That leads me to nutrition response testing. What the heck? Nutrition response testing is our way of finding in the moment what you need. Because I don't know about you, I don't want to take a dart and go, I think I want this. Bam! Did it stick or didn't it? I don't know. Oh, darn. I'm taking too much vitamin K and I don't even need it, right? We don't know that unless we have a method of testing. Nutrition response testing can find what the person is toxic in and nutritionally deficient in real time. That's what our test kits allow us to do. And my story is similar to Leah's. Heck, we all have a story here. I was not functioning well. My life was not worth living. I was sad. I was sick. I was in pain. And finding something that finally could pinpoint what the problem was, what organ was inflamed, what toxicity was I poisoned by, what nutritional deficiency did I have, right? And so here's my story about nutrition response testing. So when I was 17, I was a really good athlete for my level of school. We weren't a big school. So we had a pretty good team of basketball players, okay? And from about November, I wasn't feeling good. There was something not right. And I normally operated not feeling good, but I was really not feeling good, okay? Something over here hurt. Every time I breathe, it just hurt. Whatever, I'm down under the basket and people are elbowing me in the side, but whatever. So I'm not feeling good. I'm now chronically functioning with a fever every day, every single day. I was turning colors and people could tell. And I kept going to my MD and they kept drawing my blood. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. I'm pretty sure I had 8 blood draws. One night, after a really good basketball game that I had popped prescription strength ibuprofen times 4 to play, because I was in so much pain at 17, we did play well, and we won, and now we're going to state, and someone had to carry me off the court because I collapsed. So then they take me in the next day, and they go, oh, you have mono.
Oh.
Did I just get mono? I was getting mono, but blood work was slow. Just because your blood draw is perfect doesn't mean you're not sick. Does that make sense to everybody? Guess what nutrition response testing would have found months earlier? They would have found my spleen was the organ that was not handling things well. They would have found the immune system challenge that was there, and they would have found the nutrition to fix that. Okay, that's what I mean by blood work is slow, and nutrition response testing can find things quick. What are we dealing with right now in the world? What do you think we can help people with fast?
Is it the flu?
Brain damage.
No, that doesn't exist anymore. Do you get where I'm going here? Do you really want to know how to build your immune system? Do you really want to know what you need? Or do you want to wait until you're crashing? And then we're not allowed to let you in the door. Right? Do it now. Don't wait for October. Get your kids in now. Don't wait for October. Okay? Between nutrition response testing and chiropractic, our kids never need the doctor. Our kids don't even have doctors besides us. Right? So we want to help people handle things preventatively. And that's exactly what we do. So let's go to the back page. Inside Health Immune Boosting Protocol. So remember I told you this is the easy peasy lazy way. And I'm all for it. If someone's not going to take anything unless it is quite literally in packets that they can carry around with them, great. We have that. Step 2 is generalized recommendations for cold and flu scenarios. Kid dose, adult dose. Okay, look at the adult dose. Cataplex C, calcium lactate, and zinc. We obviously are even being told by the mainstream media that those are actually appropriate nutrition for what's going on, right? But I guess I would say our secret weapon is Imuplex and Antranex. Now, Again, that's a fantastic generalized recommendation. Step 3 is nutrition response testing examination. We can examine you as an individual because you all have different nutritional needs in this room. All of us do. I don't even care if you have the same symptoms. If we all have the same raging headache right now, we would all walk out with a different program because the raging headache is coming for you or you or you or you or you from a different reason, right? So, step 1, step 2, step 3 for specific needs. In fact, if all of you had an examination done, you may or may not want one of these, but we would find what else is necessary. Does that make sense to everybody? That is why nutrition response testing is like, you know that dart I threw, I don't know, where's it gonna go? No, this is like laser beam. That's what that person needs. That's a laser beam accuracy of this person needs this for this reason, okay? And so we have those here tonight. We have these kits. We highly recommend you or loved ones who live across the country. There's a website here that they have the ability to order. However, we also do phone consultations with people all around the country. We can help people develop protocols. We ship protocols all around the country. And again, we're looking for people to look better, feel better, naturally, not need drugs, not need surgeries, not be under the weather all the time. That's exactly what we're going for here. So, I would like to open it up for some questions. However, first, actually no, Dr. D,
Yes.
question and answer first.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions for any practitioner here tonight? In general or general questions? How the heck did she get that many carrots in that jar? Like what questions do we have here?
I have a question.
What, Nancy?
Leah.
Woo! I'm coming.
Leah.
I just want to know. So you don't wash your carrots, peel your carrots. You just put them in there,
I do. They're organic.
right?
I would wash them if they weren't, but I wouldn't be using them in the first place. It's just
Okay.
not worth the $2. I did, as I'm sitting back there thinking about this, I'm like, you know what? I don't think that fire cider recipe called for a rock. And I don't know what apple cider vinegar for 6 weeks is going to do to that rock. So I think the rock was just my own addition because I use it in my ferments. But my ferments, I usually use water and salt. This one uses apple cider vinegar.
That'd be a lot of extra minerals.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
do that for
So-
6 weeks.
Yes. So maybe don't add the rock to that one. This one you do want to use the rock. But yes, I do not wash or peel my organic food or from the garden because actually, guys, we need the microbiome from the dirt.
What's that one book, Eat Dirt?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I bring produce in from my garden that's grown in compost from my chickens, we don't wash it. We eat the dirt. But it's not dirt that people are spraying things on, and our weeds in our yard prove it. We have an ugly yard.
No, you do not. You have a farmstead.
Yes.
They do have a farmstead. Absolutely. Yes. Well, what we want to make sure is this. You walk out of here knowing something new that you can implement immediately. Yes? Yes? Okay, good. You walked out of here inspired because if you're concerned about your health, you really do think you have new things that you are able to try in order to get answers. Yes? We didn't do our job if you didn't get those answers. Okay? So, one last thing. Krista, come on. Excuse me.
I'm used to being over there.
No. We're just wrapping it up here. We are obviously still available for question answer, but I want to give you an offer here tonight. So if you are wondering how nutrition or chiropractic can help you, when we gather groups of people either in-house or out in the community, we love talking to little groups, we love talking to big groups, we love it. If you want another lecture, let us know. We would love to come to your group of people. But here tonight, our examinations are typically $150. If you are here in this room with us tonight, our gift to you is an experience with the examination for only $39. This goes outside the room, however. Who do you love? Who you worry about? Your kids, your spouse, your sister, your coworker, your neighbor. This goes outside this room, meaning here tonight, anyone who is interested in this offer, we are happy to schedule anyone who knows the schedule right now. We will collect that $39 tonight, but I'm saying if you have 3 other people in your family who you would like to have this offer for, we will collect the $39 for them, and tomorrow we can get them scheduled if you don't know their schedule, okay? Also, one of you had already talked about screenings. Yes, would you like to see what a chiropractic or nutrition screening look like? What the heck does this even look like? Muscle testing, we've got test kits, we've got test vials of our supplements, we want to find out what organ isn't happy and help it. So those screenings are like 5 minutes, and we do have some forms. Well, anyone who's interested, we'll get that here in a minute, but for chiropractic, like Dr. David said, it's basically a touch and tell. He can touch and find where the problem is pretty quick, and you'll be like, ah, right there, right? I mean, that's literally how people talk to him. And so, regardless of, I mean, if you're a current patient of ours, but you have never seen Dr. David before, let him do that touch and tell experience. And so who is not a patient and who would like to have a screening? I mean, raise your hand and we will get those to you. Shannon, would you mind grabbing the clipboards and get a clipboard to anyone who would like one of those, please?
We have our free elderberry kit.
Leah does
Give
have
away.
that to give
Okay,
away.
Kristen, you get to draw. Here we go, drum roll. Come on.
A lot of pressure.
I know, I think I picked you.
All
No
right.
pressure, no pressure.
Connie Allen.
Yay!
Yay!
So fun. So lastly, what?
Yeah, so I didn't want to have the last word just because I felt like I'm outnumbered by beautiful, amazing women. But aren't they amazing? Like, I'm always in awe of their work ethic and their knowledge. And they really do put in a lot of effort and time. Not that we didn't for chiropractic school either, but the motto around here is that the KISS principle. Keep it simple, silly, right? And on the chiropractic side, I mean, that's what I love. One of my favorite sayings is, let's check your spine. So if somebody comes in and they say, Doc, you know, my kid has an ear infection, can you help? Well, is the nervous system connected to the ear, connected to the tube that runs down into the neck there? Yeah, so, well, let's check the spine and nervous system, see if it's working. You know, that amazing laboratory it made you envision, you know, that head doctor is the one in charge of everything in your body. Let's get them better connected with the rest of your body so they can do their job. See, my job is really just to move the bone and let that doctor do the work. I move the bone, let God do the healing. That's it. You know, I keep it simple. So if somebody comes in and says, you know, I've got bowel issues, I'm really backed up, haven't gone for a month. Well, I don't know. You know, does your nervous system connect to the bowels? Let's check your spine. You know, can it help with a headache? What am I going to say?
Let's check
Let's check your spine. Can it help with, you know, sleep issues? What would I say?
check his spine.
Check your spine. You trip and fall out of your car in our parking lot and break your arm. What am I going to say?
That's how we all agree.
Oh, no, actually, that's a malpractice suit. You have to go, if you're broken and bleeding, you don't come here first. You go get that fixed up, then you come back, and then I'll check your spine, because you probably do need it. But that's the reality. Just keep it simple. Let your body do the work. Your body's designed to do this. And guess what? When it comes to the nutrition, you could eat like a dump truck, and that doctor's pretty smart. That doctor of the lab, they're pretty smart. They could figure it out. They could filter all that stuff out of there and maybe get you working again. But why go through all that hassle? Why don't you give that doctor running your body the best nutrition possible to make all those minute changes that are happening on a second-by-second basis in your body? Don't fill your body with all that extra gunk and junk and things that are going to weigh you down, slow you down, deplete your immune system, deplete your energy. Give that controller of your body the best nutrition, the best resources possible, and you'll see that happen. That's the simple aspect of what we do. We keep it simple. And you can keep it simple too. And it doesn't take a ton of work. It doesn't take a lot of effort on your part. You know, coming in for the adjustments, it's like, you know, a minute or two and you're out the door. The nutrition's like 10 minutes and you're out the door. Get on with your life, but have more energy, do more things because you are healthy. Don't let your sickness weigh you down. So we're here, we are your resource, and we want to do the best thing for you. So come and see us. We'll get those screenings started, and that offer goes for anybody who's watching the video as well. We're going to put this up wherever we can. And so if you're seeing this, we just want to make sure that availability is there for you to come and see us here at our office as well. So, but thank you.
Thank you guys for coming tonight. This was our first in-house event in a year and a half, so.
Wow.
And it was our first event in our new space, so thank you, honestly, thank you, like, we're honored to be here. So, if you're filling out the sheets, that's fantastic. Who would like a chiropractic screening? Who would like a nutrition screening? You can do both, yeah. So